Hello students of class 11C. Here we are with a new topic of second chapter microeconomics theory of consumer behavior. And you can see here theory of demand. We are going to start here, and according to this theory of demand, I have sent you notes also in a PDF. There you can see or check. It is written there, under this theory of demand. I will read it for you. In this theory of demand, demand is one of the two major market forces. Now, as I have already told you before, that market forces involves two type of concepts, that is supply and demand. So these two, when combined together, market forces of supply and demand. So out of these two forces, one is demand. Okay, so therefore it is written here that in market forces, demand is one of the factor. And remember that in market forces of demand and supply, they take decisions in a capitalist economy on what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce. So this demand is one of the particular concept in the market forces, and therefore demand is responsible for the price mechanism, for the operation of price mechanism. Okay, if I read it for you here, demand is one of the two major market forces which facilitate operations of price mechanism. So operations of price mechanism, here if you see many of the commodities which are coming into the market, it is the demand only which is responsible to fix the prices of different commodities. For example, if the demand for any particular commodity is high, the price of that particular product will be also becoming high. So demand is one of that factor which operates the price mechanism, right? And it is written here, this demand which operates the price mechanism is solving the central problems of an economy. Whatever type of central problems of economy are, like we have already studied, what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce. These three type of central problems ultimately depends on demand for a particular commodity. And if you will see, this demand only is the one factor which is going to operate the price mechanism. Okay, and all the decisions that are being taken in the economy on central problems like what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce, we can find out the solution. We can find out the solution that what should be done to reduce the demand of a particular commodity, or what type of good should be produced in high quantity and what type of good should be produced in a low quantity. This demand is one of the factor which is going to be responsible for this decision making process, right? So in simple words, demand is the particular desire of a consumer, or we can say want of a consumer, which he fulfills by purchasing it, by giving price for a commodity, and at a particular point of time he can fulfill his demand for a particular good by purchasing it, that is by paying price for it. Alright, so remember one thing, that demand or quantity demanded of a consumer is very much dependent on the price of a commodity. Okay, so we have to remember this thing. Now, in the concept of demand, if you see, the three concepts are here: desire, want, and demand. Okay, so what is desire actually? If I'll tell you this concept of desire, then I am reading it from here. I have already sent this note of concept of demand in your PDF. You can see there. Desire, just a wishful thinking of a person does not have money to buy a commodity. So desire is just a wishful thinking. He is just thinking in his mind to get that particular good, and it is not that he is going to pay for it. He is only having a thinking in his mind to purchase a particular commodity. And in the second concept it is written there, want. Want means that now the consumer is ready to pay for that particular commodity. He is willing to pay the price for that particular commodity. And demand here means when the, I'll read it for you, when a want becomes demand, when a person is willing to purchase the commodity in a market at a particular price. So demand is, when is want going to become demand? When the consumer is going to the market and going to pay the price for a particular commodity that he demands for, right? So these are the three different concepts of demand. Apart from this, if we move on to the another note there are different measures of demand, and the different measures here are of two kinds of demand. So I'll make a diagram for you on this page. Two measures. So in demand we are having two measures. One is individual measure, and second one is market measure. So individual measure is what? Where only one individual demand is going to be shown. And on the other hand, the second measure is market measure, where we are going to study the demand of all the consumers who are existing in that particular market. So let's start with the first type of measure, that is called as individual measure. So students, before studying about the individual measure and the market measure, we must know about the law of demand. What is the law of demand? So according to the law of demand, it states that keeping other factors constant, if price of a commodity is going to rise, then the quantity demanded by a consumer for this commodity is going to decrease, and vice versa. It means keeping other factors constant, if the price of a commodity is going to fall, then demand for that particular commodity of a consumer will rise. So this is a type of negative relation shown here. And in the negative relation, what happens is we get a negative curve of the demand that we'll see afterwards. But before that, if you see the first line here, keeping other factors constant, ये अदर फैक्टर्स जो हैं वो आपके ऐसे हैं जिसमें लॉ ऑफ डिमांड वर्क नहीं करता है, अदर फैक्टर्स में, ठीक है? लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल, if I am going to take other factor, taste. If the price of vanilla ice cream is ₹100 and the chocolate ice cream is of ₹200, bricks of ice cream I am talking of. So if you like the taste of chocolate ice cream, what will you do? The price of chocolate ice cream is high, but still, because your taste is favorable for chocolate ice cream, you will purchase chocolate ice cream instead of the vanilla ice cream. But the law of demand says, if the price of a particular commodity is going to rise, then the demand for that commodity is going to fall. But here this particular law of demand is not working, because other factor, taste, has come in between. In the same way, other factors में income भी आती है consumer की. If the income is rising, he can increase the demand for a particular product, and other factors like this only. But we have to keep all these other factors constant, right? Then only the law of demand will work. And if you see here, if I am going to write here price and quantity demanded, in these two, the relation is if price rise, quantity demanded falls, price falls, quantity demanded rise. So this is a type of, you can say, negative relation is there in between price of a commodity and quantity demanded of a commodity. So there is a negative relationship. This is what is called as law of demand. Now on the basis of this law of demand only, we will study about the two measures of demand: individual measure and market measure. So first of all, let's do individual measure. The law of demand can be explained in two measures. Number one was individual measure, second is market measure. So market measure we will be doing after this individual measure. But first of all, it is time to understand that what this individual measure is indicating us. Individual measure here means individual person or individual household. We are going to only take individual single entity here and in the market, and on the basis of this single individual only, we will study the behavior of the consumer. And this behavior of a consumer you can see in the individual demand schedule given on your board here. If you see the price of X commodity, it is going to rise here. At 10 rupees, the quantity demanded of X commodity by a consumer, individual consumer, is 5 units. And on the other hand, when the price is going to rise at 20 rupees, the consumer is going to demand lesser units of good, because now the price is going to rise, as the law of demand used to state us that if the price is going to rise, demand will reduce. So therefore, in the similar way, as the price is going to rise more and more, rupees 30, consumers' demand will go more down, that is 3 units, and at 40 rupees price, consumers' demand will fall down more to 2 units, and similarly at 50 rupees price, consumer is going to demand for only 1 unit of a commodity. So as the demand is falling down, you can see that the price of the commodity is rising, a negative relationship. That is what the law of demand used to tell us. Okay, but we will be converting this schedule into a graphical presentation also. So let's study the graphical presentation of this individual demand schedule. Okay, so let's see the graphical representation. So on the basis of this individual demand schedule, we will be making the graph of this individual demand schedule. Graphical presentation we will make, and we will come to know that where is the demand curve going to move or slope. Okay, so let's start marking each and every point in your demand schedule. So as we have seen that at price rupees 10, the consumer was demanding 5 units of a commodity. So at price rupees 10, we will mark 5 units, because quantity demanded we are showing on X axis and price we are showing on the Y axis. So let's mark at 5th unit. here we are going to get the first point. In the similar way, at 20 rupees price, consumers was demanding for 4 units of a commodity. So we will make this point also here and get the another point for making our demand curve. So here it is, the second point, and at 30 rupees price the consumer is demanding 3 units of a commodity. So we will mark this also here and we will get the another point, and similarly at 40 rupees price consumer is demanding for 2 units of a commodity, and at last at price rupees 50 consumer is going to demand only 1 unit of a commodity. So in this way we can see here different points to form a demand curve we have got, and we will join all these points and we will get the demand curve, and let's see how is the demand curve going to slope down during individual measure. So we will join all these points together and we'll get a demand curve. And you can see here this demand curve is the curve which is the sloping downwards. Okay, so this is a type of negative curve because in between the demand of a consumer and the price of a commodity there is a negative relationship, and because of this negative relationship only we used to get a downward sloping demand curve. We can name this curve as DD, like this we can name it. Okay, so this was the individual demand curve. When we study the market measure for the explanation of the law of demand, then we will see here that we used to take not only one single individual's demand, but whichever number of different consumers are there in the market, we take the demand of all these consumers together. So that will be making our market demand. And as you can see in the market demand schedule, that we are having 3 consumers here: consumer A, consumer B and consumer C. We have named them A, B, C. And all these consumers are having different demands according to different prices. And you can see here the price is continuously increasing from 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40 and 40 to 50. So at 10 rupees price, consumer is demanding 8 units of a commodity, X commodity, and consumer B is demanding for 10 units of a commodity, and consumer C is demanding for 12 units of a commodity. And in similar case, if the price is going to increase, then according to the law of demand, when the price is going to increase, the demand for all the consumers in the market is also going to go down. उनकी demand कम हो जाएगी. So here you can see at 20 rupees price, consumer A's demand is going to fall down from 8 to 6 units. Consumer's B demand is going to fall from 10 to 8 units, and in the similar way, consumer C's demand is going to fall from 12 units to 10 units. So in the similar fashion, the demand of consumer A is falling from 8 to 6, 6 to 4, 4 to 2 and 2 to 0 units at 50 rupees price. 0 units are demanded by consumer A. And similarly, in case of B also, B's demand is going to fall down 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, and C's demand is also going to fall down 12, 10, 8, 6, 4 as more and more price is going to rise. So this is matching our law of demand. How to calculate the market demand of a consumer? So market demand of a consumer is calculated at every different prices. Like at 10 rupees price, A's demand is 8 units, B's demand is 10 units, and C's demand is 12 units. We will add them up, and we'll get the market demand. That is 8 plus 10 plus 12. 8 plus 10 plus 12, we'll get 30 units as the market demand. In the similar way, we will add all the demands of ABC at 20 rupees. 6 plus 8 plus 10 will give us 24 market demand. And 4 plus 6 plus 8 will give us 18 as the market demand at price rupees 30. And at 40 rupees, 2 plus 4 plus 6 will give us 12 units of market demand. And at 50 rupees, 0 plus 2 plus 4 will give us market demand as 6 units. So market demand is going to give us the addition of all the demands of all the consumer existing in the market. Now we will see the graphical representation also of this market demand. So let's see that also. So as you can see that in a market measure, we used to take different consumers together, their demands together at different prices, and as we have seen the market demand schedule, according to that only we are going to show the graphical presentation of market demand schedule. This market demand curve, on the basis of that only we are going to make, and here on y-axis we have shown the prices of the commodity, and on x-axis we are showing the quantity demanded. This is the market demand. So highest quantity demanded was 30 units, and therefore we have given the gap of 4 units so that all our divisions should be coming into one x-axis. So here you can see 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28 and 30, because the maximum highest market demand unit was 30. Okay. After this, we can see here, we will write it as 32, because 4 units gap we have divisions given at every interval. So first point we are going to mark here, at 10 rupees price, the market demand was 30 units. So at 10 rupees, 30 units. 30 units will be just in middle of 28 and 32. So we'll make this as 30. This point we'll take as 30, and our point will be marked at this place. And here we have got our first point. Okay. So this is our first point coming here of market demand. Another point, at 20 rupees price, market demand was equal to 24 units. So we'll mark 24 units here. This is where another point will be, we will be getting. At 30 rupees price, the market demand was 18 units. So 18 will take between 16 and 20. Here it is. And at 40 rupees price, the quantity, the market demand was 12 units. Here we get it. And at last price, that is 50 rupees, market demand was equal to 6 units. So 6 will come in between 4 and 8. We mark it here. And we get the last point at this place. We'll join all these points and we'll get the market demand curve. So we'll join all these points and we'll get the market demand curve. How we have got it? By adding up the individual demands. This this 30 units of market demand we have got by adding up 3 individual demands of A, B and C, and it was 8 plus 10 and 12. So this point we have got by adding 8 plus 10 plus 12. In the similar way, this market demand at 20 rupees we have got 24 by adding up individual demands of 6, 8 and 10. 6 plus 8 plus 10. And in the next price 30 rupees we have added up the individual demands of 4, 6 and 8. So 4 plus 6 plus 8 has given us demand as market demand of 18 units. And we have got at 40 rupees price by adding up individual demands of 2, 4 and 6, that is 2 plus 4 plus 6, and after this at 50 rupees price we have got 6 units of market demand by adding up 0 plus 2 plus 4. Here it is. Okay, so in this manner our market demand curve is also sloping downwards. So these were the two different measures of to explain the law of demand.